Hello and good morning, everyone. My name is VAnia Mirza from MYP4, and today I'll teach you about how to make a graphic novel or a comic strip to be simplified. So, a graphic novel is a series of comic strips. So, for example, like we can see here, this is a page from a famous graphic novel, Geronimo Stilton. Basically, we can see here that graphic novels are kind of like comics. They are basically graphic novels use both expression and dialogue to tell the story. So, uh, basically, how do you make a graphic novel? It's very easy. First, you have to have a script. First, you have to have a script. With a script, you'll be able to know what scene when it comes and how it comes. By using a script, you'll be able to determine that what every scene would look like. For example, if we take this, it's just a rough scene or panel I've made, a frame I've made. So basically here this is about the story Frankenstein. So when Frankenstein is introduced to the world, he doesn't really know much about the world since he's reanimated. So once he's reanimated, he doesn't know. So he meets this little girl Martha who asks her to play. So she asks her politely, and because Frankenstein is lonely and doesn't have any friends, so we can see that he's confused. Also, first of all, you have to make your character. Your character could be as simple as it can be. For example, a stick figure. It doesn't really matter as long as the character is different from, as long as the characters are different from each other. For example, here again in Geronimo Stilton, we can see everyone's a rat. But every rat has a different skin color, has a different nose or face. Okay, so basically now I'm going to tell you the use of speech bubbles. When you use speech bubbles, they actually help convey the message or convey the dialogue basically. When you use a speech bubble, which is basically it's like someone's talking to you. When you have a speech bubble shaped like a cloud, it would be a thought. For example, if I say should I have ice cream? Should I have ice cream or chocolate? So I'm thinking of something. So this shows that I'm actually thinking of something. It's a thought. Okay, so this over here, the one with the dots, is a whisper. So basically, like if someone's whispering to someone, they're gonna use this dialogue. For example, This is just an example that she is whispering to someone. That this girl is whispering to someone else. And she's listening. If we see this speech bubble, it often means as an expression, an aggressive expression. The aggressive expression could be anything. It could show anger, excitement, or anything. For example, this is a part of a manga. Manga is basically Japanese graphic novels. They're just in Japanese and have a very different art style. So they use speech bubbles a lot to deliver the expression. Along with speech bubbles, they also use character expressions to show that what the character is feeling. For example, here the boy's name is Tanjiro. So basically, Tanjiro is feeling very aggressive. So he's feeling very aggressive towards his sister and wants to protect him. So he's using facial expressions, and we can see that the sister is innocent, sitting there. And here we can see this guy who is just delivering a normal speech. Here we can also give an example of Geronimo Stilton. That over here, Benjamin is very excited and also curious at one point that he's gonna take another trip. And for example, we can see that this girl, she's very curious and she's kind of worried that what would happen. And here we could also see that Geronimo is disgusted by his cousin, and his cousin's actually very scared of going. We can also see that they've used bold text often to foreshadow. People use bold text to foreshadow or make a text clear, the basic text clear. For example, here Benjamin's saying how another trip in time, but how will we keep them from recognizing us? How nice, but how will recognizing time is not important. Instead, the another trip in time is important. So that's why it's bold. Also, expressions play, as I said before, expressions also play a big role in delivering a character's dialogues. If there are no expressions given to your character, or then the dialogue would be bland and blank. For example, if I have this person, we can see that he's really enjoying the view as well as he's enjoying his food. And his expressions, especially his eyebrows, show that he's very surprised of the taste. And since we can see that his cheek is puffed, we can also see that he's actually eating. His eyes looking up. Maybe it may be something so that he's enjoying the scene or something. Now I'm going to tell you easily how to make a graphic novel. A graphic novel is very simple to make. Honestly, first I suggest you start on paper, because if you start on the paper, you'd be easily able to trace over it and correct your mistakes if you have any. For example, on paper, let's say if I made a character. So, for example, this is on paper. And now I've made it on paper, how will I color it and convert it into digital? It's very simple. Basically, you open a new document. Basically, download any of these two apps, Ibis Paint and Autodesk Sketchbook. Autodesk Sketchbook can be available on laptops and laptops, mobile, iPad, etc. Ibis Paint is available, both are free. But for Ibis Paint, if you want to get unlock different types of brushes, then you'd have to pay. You have to watch ads. But I prefer Ibis Paint better because it's more user friendly than Autodesk Sketchbook. It's easy to understand. But if you want something that is really easy, then use Autodesk Sketchbook. Thank you. So then when you after you've made your comic on paper, scan it and then upload it in the document. Once you've uploaded the document, take the layer of the image and turn its opacity down to whatever you like so that it's traceable. Then take a new layer. Make sure every work you do is in a separate layer. For example, if I make this, then I want to color it. If I color it just like this, then it will go outside the line. We can't see the line. Then you have to trace over it all over again. But if we make a layer underneath it, then it will easily be colored and the line won't be disturbed. And since it's in different layers, you can hide the traced layer, and then the only outlined work would show. So thank you. Hope you learned something, and goodbye. See you very soon. Allah Hafiz.